Hello, YouTube. It is me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another review. This is not an All Things Green review. This is a recent film that I saw in the theater yesterday afternoon. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had nothing to do, and I got to finally see John Wick Chapter 2. All I can say is badass manpower. That's the two words that I can say about this freaking movie. This movie was just as badass as the first John Wick back in 2014, which I saw like a year late after it came out. I was really amazed. Like originally, I was gonna see Kong Skull Island, but I got to the theater late, so I had to see another movie, sooner. And this was still playing, so I said, "I'm fine. I'll go see it." Boy, did I make a great decision with this sequel. This is everything I want in an action movie, and then some. There are some problems that I have, but I'll get to that later. John Wick Chapter 2, I saw the first John Wick on cable like about 2 years ago. I thought it was freaking awesome. Is Keanu Reeves back in form after the Matrix films? Finally get to see another movie with him and Lawrence Fishburne once again. They had some really good scenes together. The great chemistry from the Matrix is still with those two. The action sequences in this freaking movie are frenetic, dude. They are so epically freaking insane, over the top, and bloody, and just balls to the wall, man. John Wick can shoot anybody in any direction. He shoots like this. He shoots like this. He can shoot 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 like this. He shoots anywhere with any kind of gun. Just see, this is Keanu Reeves at his most badass role that I've seen him play since Speed and the Matrix films. I saw this in a small theater, in an auditorium. There were only like about 10, 15 people there because the movie came out a month ago. I wanted to see it in February, but it snowed, so I had to wait a month. Was well worth the wait. I wanted to see this on the big screen because I didn't get to see the first one in the big screen, and this was so worth my time. The action, frenetic, crazy. The film starts with an action scene where John Wick is trying to get his car back, and they hit him with a car. He gets tousled around, thrown around, punched around, and he flips people literally like off their feet. It's freaking amazing. Some of the wrestling moves and holds that they use in this movie are great. Every single action movie should learn a thing from John Wick and from John Wick Chapter 2. Don't shake the camera. Don't do this. I want to see what's going on. Don't do quick edits like, you see me, then you don't. Then you see me, then you don't. No, it doesn't do that. The editing is fluid. I can see what's going on. It's well edited. It's not like the shitty editing in Suicide Squad where it's a bunch of, heavy edits and you can't see anything during the fight scenes. It's just badly filmed. This is just freaking awesome, dude. This could give the freaking Mission Impossible films a run for their money, and the Fast and the Furious films, and the Jason Bourne films, especially the last one. There was no excuse for that movie to be lame, especially 10 years after the Bourne Ultimatum. This film does it better than all those films combined, and I love the Mission Impossible films and some of the Fast and the Furious films. But guess what? Hey, Rogue One, this is how you do dark and gritty the right way. Fuck you, okay? This is how you do it. Right here. Frenetic, R-rated, violent, bloody action, which will never be in a Star Wars movie because then it won't be kid-friendly. And you got a lead that I cared about. That's something I will never care about in these new Star Wars movies. Yeah. You know why? Because Keanu Reeves has been acting since the 80s. The guy still got it, man. The guy's not young. He's in his 50s now. He's middle-aged. And the guy's kicking more ass than freaking Felicity Jones and Daisy Ridley and freaking Emily Blunt. Yeah. This guy kicks ass, and he is not a superhero. Half the movie, he's getting tousled. He gets stabbed. He gets shot. He gets freaking punched. He gets thrown through glass. This guy goes to hell. He's not a superhero. He is freaking vulnerable. He bleeds like a human being does. With these movies nowadays, they have to have these fan fiction SJW female leads that don't bleed or go through anything. But John Wick goes to hell, and he does it for a purpose. And Keanu's just great. Like, people said, some of these assholes on YouTube said, oh, he's just expressionless and he's brooding. He's brooding because he lost his wife and he lost his first puppy. dog that he got that the wife gave him in the first movie. In this one, he has a new dog, a gray dog that he walks around with. It's badass, man. This guy just walks into a room and you feel his presence. I did. I got chills in the theater. I'm like, this guy wears a suit, a black suit, and he has gelled up hair and slacks and loafers. And this guy can kick more ass than a bunch of these women that try to be tough like men. Sorry, it doesn't work for me. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not being sexist. Please bear with me. Do not come to my channel and say you're a sexist pig, because I treat men and women equally as long as they're vulnerable in an action movie. Guys are the better action stars. There, I said it. Sly Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jason Statham, Keanu Reeves, freaking Tom Cruise. They are better. I like manpower, not nice freaking strong testosterone filled men that want to kick ass in the fight scenes, and you buy them when the film is well edited. When you don't have good editing with a bad, when you don't have good editing, even with a good actor like Liam Neeson, you get Taken 2. This is not Taken 2. This is way better. I can see what's going on. I buy that a man can flip people off and just freaking not flip them off. I mean, flip them, from side to side and just slam them, and just he doesn't give up. And he manhandles a woman, and it's not sexist. Ruby Rose fights him in the scene. She plays a mute. I wish to God that Jyn Erso or Ray were mutes. They would have been much more likable. Yeah, because then I wouldn't have to hear their horrible accents. Ruby Rose is Australian. All she does is hand sign language. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need her going, I have cancer. No, I don't need her to talk like that with an Australian accent. That would have killed the movie for me. One problem I have with the movie is I don't like reading the subtitles. I know that was in the first movie where they spoke Russian, they subtitled it, because the subtitles are like big and like it's a comic book. And I just don't like that. I'm sorry. I am American. I don't want to read subtitles in a freaking action movie. I want to see my badass hero kicking ass, being awesome, having normal conversations in American English. That is it. I don't need Russian and Italian and freaking Hebrew. I don't need that in my action movie. It's just not necessary. Also, the villain was kind of weak. It was some Italian dude named Santino. Hold on. That tells John Wick, I want you to get back in the game, kill my sister, and the mark will be off your record. And he says no. He blows up his freaking house. That's one good thing that the villain does. He's there, I guess. He's not really a big actor like Alan Rickman, but he blows up John Wick's house, and John Wick is like, yeah, now it's personal. Now shit is about to get real. And it works. The movie is fast paced. It's never boring. The action is fluid and frenetic and crazy. That catacomb scene was bad ass. It's dark, but you see the bullets. There is so much going on that I'm like, wow, this is like a Max Payne movie. He's like, blah, 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 blah. It's crazy, dude. I'm not gonna buy Daisy Ridley doing that in The Force Awakens in freaking Last Jedi. What's she gonna do? She's gonna shove a lightsaber up her ass and then throw it to somebody's face? No, I'm not gonna buy it. Because they give her superpowers. John Wick is human, and he doesn't have any powers, or the Force, or telekinetic, abilities. No, he's human. He has to use his wit. He has to use his strength. He has to use his fight skills, because Keanu Reeves is kicking ass, dude. He's chopping people and kicking people and punching them and being a badass. He's basically what we should have gotten in those new Ninja Turtles movies. If he was Shredder, I would have bought it, because Keanu is just freaking on. He's on the bubble. He's on the freaking ball with this movie. He is. It's just frenetic energy, dude. He's not phoning it in. He would make Steven Seagal cream in his pants now. This fat Seagal that we got in like 15 movies a year. He should learn from freaking Keanu Reeves. He went through a lot of flops after the Matrix sequels, but he learned his lesson. He said, I got to get my career back on track and kick ass again. John Wick, let me do it. And he nailed it. There's a reason this movie gets a higher rating than your beloved Rogue One. Yeah, that movie can kiss my ass. This is how you do it right. When you do it in the real world with a real character that has manpower. And no, I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm just saying men are more believable, strong freaking characters than a SJW freaking fanfiction woman. I'm sorry. Wonder Woman I could give a chance to because that's a superhero. But if they're not a superhero, I don't buy it with some female that's like a delicate little doe-eyed freaking tube beaver. I'm sorry. Keanu is a badass in this movie and in the first one. And I liked him in Speed. And I liked him in The Matrix. And I liked him in Matrix Reloaded. Yeah, I already was going in with favoritism with this guy because he's awesome. And the movie's awesome. It's a great sequel. It's going to be in my top 5 of the year. I guarantee you Last Jedi is not going to be better than this. There is no freaking way. Why do I keep knocking that movie? Because it's a sequel that we don't need to a movie that I had mixed feelings on. After a Star Wars movie that was it's so dark, it's so Saving Private Ryan, and there's no blood in that movie. I felt nothing in that movie. I hated all the characters except for Darth Vader. Here, John Wick alone is enough of a character to keep me interested. And I also like Lawrence Fishburne. I like the freaking locations in New York. I'm a New Yorker, so I am going to be biased. And Italy was a beautiful location, besides the subtitles, but it's a great freaking sequel. It deserved to make $1 billion. Not Borg 1. Sorry. This is how you do an action movie. You got a badass lead that has manpower, that doesn't have superpowers. It's not a superhero. He's not a freaking overpowered, guy that they just touch him and he falls. No, he has to go through hell to kill some of these people. He shoots people in the head. He does the pencil trick better than the Joker in The Dark Knight. There, I said it. Oh, yeah. He does the pencil trick in a way that The Dark Knight should have had more blood in it. It would have been more gritty just like this. Nolan should have learned from this. If this had come out first, I guarantee you The Dark Knight would not be in the top 5 of all time. Just saying. I think The Dark Knight would have benefited from an R rating, especially with the grittiness in that. This does it, and it shows it. It does the pencil trick right in the guy's freaking face. And blood comes right out. I'm like, damn, that is badass, dude. He took a number 2 pencil and made mincemeat out of a guy's face. How awesome is that? And he there's a fat guy that he keeps like shooting him, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. Blah. See? Awesome. I felt that freaking adrenaline rush. I never felt that with Rogue One or with Episode 7 with these freaking SJW girls that are wrong for the roles. I'm sorry. Men power is going to be supreme because let's face it, men are physically stronger than women. It's freaking physics. It is scientific proof, dude. There's a reason why there are more action stars that are men than are women. I know people are going to be like, you're a sexist pig. No, I love women. I loved Black Widow in the Avengers movies and Civil War. And I love Scarlet Witch. And I even like Lucy from 2014. John Wick is better than that movie. Why? Because John Wick is vulnerable and he still kicks ass. And he still keeps on fighting. He's a never give up kind of guy like John Cena. And it works. He's badass and he doesn't have to say much. Keanu's performance is very subtle. It carries the movie. You care about his character. The movie's not that long. It's under 2 hours. I didn't feel it at all. It went by quick. It was a fast-paced movie, and the action sequences were so frenetic. I'm like, damn, this is what I miss in action movies nowadays. I miss the gore and the freaking gristle violence. I miss the shootouts that I can actually see without them shaking the camera or using CG bullets. Or having actors I don't buy. You're going to buy Margot Robbie freaking shooting a guy's head off in like a Suicide Squad sequel? No. That movie should have been R like this. It would have benefited from it. I'm sorry. I'm not saying blood makes a movie. A good story, which this had, and a badass hero, that is what helps a story a lot. And good writing. It has some humor to lighten the mood so it's not a depressing, melodrama like Hacksaw Jim Duggan the movie from last year. Yeah. I love this movie. This is a great freaking sequel. When I get my money, I'm going to get the first one. It made me want to go back and see the first one. That is the sign of a kick-ass, badass manpower sequel. Just like this. sir. And I'm not doing this to knock on women because believe me, I love women. I will always be attracted to them. But sometimes I want to see some manpower. Yeah, manpower. Freaking Hulk manpower. That's what I want to see. That's why I love Doctor Strange last year. That's why I loved Civil War. That's why I love Deadpool. If you had Lady Deadpool or freaking Gwenpool, that would not have been the same movie last year. It wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm not saying women aren't strong. They can be. But I'm tired of these weak women like freaking Anastasia Steele in 50 Shades of Darker. This is how you do a sequel right without making me nauseous. And Rogue One, you are not better than this movie. I don't care how much money you made. This movie has gore that will make you freaking be like, oh my god, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we show Darth Vader cutting a guy's head off? Oh, because it's Disney, so they're not going to allow it. Have some balls. Do something ballsy like this sequel did and the first one. I love this movie. It's going to be in my top 5, without a doubt. I still got more movies to get to, but this was so worth the freaking trip to the theater. And I would recommend going to see it while it's still in theaters. And then when it comes out on Blu-ray, I am getting it, baby. Yes, sir. Because it was worth my time. And it's a sequel that it enhances the first one. It doesn't make it poorer. It enhances it. It's like you see these back-to-back, great double bill. And if there's a third one, I hope it goes in full circle and it ends on a great, high note. You don't need to make 10 of these movies, but to be honest, I could see more of these movies than any more Fast and the Furious or Jason Bourne. It's done. It's done already. Jason Bourne should have been a trilogy, and that's it. Fast and the Furious should have ended with 6 or with 7 after Paul Walker's death. And they still don't learn. Star Wars, the last great Star Wars movie was Revenge of the Sith, and I'm never going to take that back. I hated the Clone Wars movie. I didn't like Rogue One. And Episode 7, I'm still mixed on. I have a love-hate relationship. I love the visuals, but I hate the director. And I hate the freaking lead girl. John Wick can kick the crap out of Rey and Jyn Erso in a freaking 3-way. Okay? Or 2-on-1. He could take both their heads, snap it, break it, use their spines like a freaking shish kebab and put both of their heads on a pike and say, kiss my ass. That's what I think of your freaking SJW characters, Hollywood. This is how you do it right. This is how you do it, man. Badass, manpower, John Wick 2, Chapter 2 is freaking awesome. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next review.